blah, blah, blah. Boom. I said, Hugh, don't you understand what we're saying here? I said, you basically came up with this, now you don't even understand its three-dimensional character. So he says, okay, wait a minute. So I says, look, Huey. Power is the ability to define phenomena, then in turn make it act in a desired manner. Let me look at the phenomena of white racists on the city council. How do you make these idiots who don't give a damn about our basic desires and needs act in a desired manner? The best way I know, Huey, is we want those damn political seats they got. Right. Those seats represent power. Those seats represent their ability to make a law that's racist, make a law, subtle or direct as it may or may not be, to perpetuate exploitation of the people, etc., and so on. I said, so we have to unify the people in the community, the black people, the brown people, and all the young white left radicals, whoever, etc. We have to unify them and vote their goddamn ass out of office, therefore making their ass act in a desired manner. So this kind of pragmatic way, this is where I'm coming from. You see what I mean? I'm a private person. You can sit up and talk all the theory you want. But if you don't get down to the nitty-gritty and try to apply and see if the principles or statements or objectives are implemented, you're missing the point. In other words, I'm an architect for my father, adding dens and rooms. I mean, I'm doing all the architectural layout, all the specifications, etc. for him. I'm at age 15, 16, and 17 doing this. So the plans for a building with all its specs, etc. in particulars are still just plans, a theory, right? Now, when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it's about building this building, putting that framework together. You see, so even in politics, power is the ability to define phenomena and in turn make it act in a desired manner. See what I'm getting? So that's where I'm coming from. You got to implement it, you know. So that's me. The Black Panther Party. I have to say certain things so you can understand its growth, its meaning, its relevancy, how it happened. Prior to Dr. Martin Luther King being killed, I had no more than 400 members up and down the West Coast. Huey Newton's in jail. Huey Newton went to jail in October of 1966. Huey Newton had a shootout situation and defended himself from Officer Fry, who attempted to kill him that night. And Huey, in effect, was shot, but Officer Fry wound up dead, and Officer Haynes wound up wounded. My point becomes, with these membership that I had up and down the West Coast, that's about 400 members. Seattle, Washington had a chapter, small one in Portland. Sacramento had a great chapter with Charles Brunson, B-R-U-N-S-O-N, not B-R-O-N-S-O-n. B-R-U-N-S-O-n is a black guy I know. B-R-O-N-S-O-n is the movie actor. But my point is, this is what I had going. Right after the Huey P. Newton rally, Dr. Reverend Ralph Abernathy called me. We already had a coalition with the Peace and Freedom Party and a couple of other organizations. But Dr. Reverend Ralph Abernathy called me and asked me, says Dr. King wanted to ask me, she asked me, would we be willing to work to help organize for the Poor People's March coming up in the latter part of that year? And I says, yes, definitely. Tell Dr. King that he's got us. We would definitely do that. No two words about it. Dr. Reverend Ralph Abernathy says, well, he'd also like to know if, since he's contacted more than 100 organizations all across the country in different cities, etc., would the Black Panther Party be willing to participate in a roundtable to help outline and hammer out and detail a broader economic rights program connected with our civil rights program? And I says, yes, we will definitely do that. So this is a coalition that I set with Dr. Martin Luther King and others behind the economic program of the Poor People's March. You see, we already had a coalition with Peace and Freedom Party and picked up a coalition with a couple of other organizations, you know, and so on. But that was that beginning. So they killed Dr. Martin Luther King. When they murdered Dr. Martin Luther King, a whole new thing happened. I'm talking about, it was like a matter of a month, particularly when exams was over in May. Dr. King was killed April 4th, mid-May. They flooded into my organization. I mean, flooded all across the country. I went from 400 members up and down the West Coast to 49 chapters and branches across the United States of America. By the end of the year, I'm talking about 5,000 members. 1/3 part-time, one-third rally panther, 1/3 part-time, and 1/3 full-time. This is what I had all across the country. I went to every chapter and branch. Because my objective was, I'm going to teach you. I say, invite me to the college campus, get me there. When you get me to the college campus, then you cut out another day for party members and other people who want to do political party work and organizing in the community. I taught them to find particulars in the methodology of effective grassroots community organizing. You know, you don't play around here. You're going to learn your precincts. You're going to learn your voting division. Inside these precincts and these voting divisions are businesses, inside there are recreations, there are churches, etc. and so on. You're going to find out what, this is what you're going to do. Because why? We're going to put up numerous programs, and we did put up numerous programs, but we're attaching a voter registration drive to every one of our programs. Now, the voter registration really came out because in 1968, Sister Shirley Chisholm said she was running for president. Well, that's part of my program. My programmatic operation of organizing the party, and with it expanding like it was how can we get as many as possible, more people of color, black folks, brown folks, and other progressive folks in the political office. To me, you cannot run around hollering about black power or people's power unless you take over control of the political power seats.